Ladies and gentlemen, we might as well just crown Max Verstappen a 5-time world champion because Red Bull is bringing some insane upgrades this weekend. We're also going to be talking about how McLaren is going to perform this weekend, and lastly, some F1 drama, the usual stuff. So first things first, this weekend is the Mexican Grand Prix, if you didn't know. I was going to say the full name, but I don't think anyone in the whole entire world can say the full name. I'll put the name somewhere there. You can try and say it. If you can say, shout out to you, man. But I cannot say that full name, so we're just calling it the Mexican Grand Prix. So the Mexican Grand Prix, Red Bull is planning to bring some upgrades. It's not yet confirmed, but we all know how things work in Formula One. When there's rumors, you probably know they're probably true. Most of the time, that is. If they come from the right source, they're probably true. So Red Bull is planning to bring upgrades, and if that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will, because if Red Bull is bringing upgrades, McLaren has forgot that they need upgrades. They have totally forgot about this season. Lando and Oscar are just fighting it the way it is now. Whatever they have, that's it. Red Bull isn't playing that game. Red Bull is going all out. They are making sure Max Verstappen wins this title. So I mean, if he gets upgrades this weekend or the next, when we do go to the next race after Mexico, then whatever is going to happen, I don't think McLaren has an answer for it. Because firstly, Max Verstappen is already on an insane run of form right now. As you've probably seen in my previous video, Max Verstappen is that driver that when I think about Max Verstappen, I just, it just brings bad thoughts in my head, because I'm like, this dude can just win from anywhere as long as he has the car. So if you're supporting anyone but Max Verstappen, then it's not going to be a good championship. So unfortunately, Red Bull is bringing upgrades. But, let me just make my predictions now. I was going to save my predictions for later on, but I'm going to make my predictions. With Red Bull bringing upgrades, whether they do or they don't, we will see. But I still think this is the race McLaren is going to have some say in this championship. This is the race McLaren is going to say no to Max Verstappen. This is the race McLaren is going to say, we can win this. I think this is the race where McLaren fights back. So I'm predicting a 1-2 with Oscar taking the win, Lando Norris taking second place, and Max Verstappen on the last step of the podium. And I think that's what's going to happen. So put your money, guys. I say you heard it here first. 1-2 for McLaren, Oscar Piastri taking the win. And I think this is the first race where Oscar Piastri is going to come back. And speaking of Oscar Piastri, let me just go into the McLaren segment, because we all know McLaren hasn't been performing really well of late. It's not been the best run of form. They haven't had a win in about a month or something. It's been a long time. Lando Norris hasn't had a win in like forever at this point. If you're a Lando Norris fan, shout out to you, man. But at least he's doing pretty well, even though he's had some bad. I think his performance since the summer break has been low-key underrated. He's been doing really well. If it wasn't for the DNF in Zandvoort, he would be leading the championship. So but that's how it goes sometimes. We all know how it goes. If you're a Lewis Hamilton fan, you probably know 2016 how it went, and it's one of those seasons, where sometimes luck just isn't on your side. But at the same time, if you look at Oscar Piastri's side, McLaren has been doing everything but being fair. So always fair, I guess, at the end of it all. But yeah, when it comes to McLaren, I think they're going to have a good weekend. I think they're going to take, a good chunk of points. Obviously, Constructors is down, so that doesn't really matter. But I think as the drivers, this is the first race since the summer break that they actually going to put Verstappen in his place. And yeah, maybe it's just hopeful thinking. Maybe I'm just crazy. I don't know. But whatever is going to happen, I think McLaren will come out on top. And especially also, the reason I'm choosing Oscar Piastri is not because I'm an Oscar Piastri fan. I know some of you guys probably have seen the videos and think, oh, this dude is just Oscar Piastri fanboy, No. I think this is very, very intellectual. My reasoning is because in F1 you obviously need practice. In anything you need practice, right? And as we all know, there's mandatory practice sessions for the rookies who haven't done like 2 races, 2 whatever. They that rule We've all seen it. That's why we see a couple of rookies there and there. And Mexican Grand Prix, we're gonna have 9 rookies. So there's only gonna be one team with both drivers in FP1. I don't know what team that is, but every other team is gonna have a different driver. Lewis Hamilton is not gonna be driving. Max Verstappen is also not gonna be driving FP1. Lando Norris is not gonna be driving. But guess who's driving? Oscar Piastri. Oscar Piastri driving obviously means he's gonna have more time. He's gonna have more time in the car. He's gonna have more time to, to set up the car the way he wants. And we all know Oscar Piastri. If you've seen this season closely, if you've been watching it, outside of the reels. I know some people watch F1 with just reels and shorts, and that's basically how they watch F1. But if you've been watching F1 correctly, you've probably seen that FP1, FP2, Lando usually has the upper hand. FP3 and quali, usually Q3 especially, that's when Oscar Piastri just turns up and he just pulls out a performance. He's always clutch when it comes to those important results. And the main reason for that is he takes a bit of time compared to Lando Norris. That's why I think also in the sprint race we had last weekend. But then again, this is going to sound like I'm making excuses. So basically what I'm saying is he's going to have more practice. Because of more practice, he's going to perform better. That's basically it. That's my theory of why Oscar Piastri is going to beat Lando. That's literally the only reason. So yeah. And anyway, that's basically it. When it comes to the other teams, I don't think Ferrari or what's the other one? The silver one. The one that Lewis won 7 titles with. Mercedes. I don't think Mercedes is gonna be that good. I think those two are just gonna be, they're gonna be decent, but they're not gonna be crazy. The thing is, Mexico is such a different track from every other racetrack because it's low downforce, but it's high downforce. The overall downforce the cars produce there is low, hence why they are so fast, like Monza levels of speed. But at the same time, it's high downforce because the cars bring their high downforce packages. So that's the other thing. And there's a smooth surface, so I don't think we'll have any issues from Ferrari in terms of ride height or any other teams in terms of ride height. But we're still probably gonna have lift and coast. That's been the motto as a Ferrari fan this season. If you're a Ferrari fan, I'm sure you've had lift and coasts. Yeah, it probably traumatizes you to this point. But anyway, that's besides the point. The point is that I don't think Ferrari or Mercedes are going to be that good. They're going to be decent, but they haven't been super competitive in super high downforce packages, So yeah, this track is different. So I wanted to base it on another track, but there isn't really another track that's similar to this on the calendar. This is one of its kind. Alright, and the last thing I want to speak about, guys, is obviously the Danica Patrick and Jenson Button situation. So obviously, I'm going to show you guys the clip, and then you guys can see, you guys can have your own takes on it. But yeah, it's pretty hilarious if you haven't seen the clip. But actually, before I show you guys the clip, so basically, if you don't know who Danica Patrick is, she was a racer. She's also a model, and she basically is part of the F1 crew. They usually, the F1 crew, Sky, I'm sure it's Sky Sports, right? Yes, Sky Sports. Is it F1 TV or Sky Sports? I'm not sure. You guys will correct me. But yes, she is part of the crew with Jenson Button. Yeah, Jenson Button is part of Sky, so she's part of Sky Sports. So she's part of the crew, and obviously, when something happens, when incidents happen, when how pundits are, they speak about basically everything in F1, whether it's drama or whether it's technical stuff. So obviously there was the crash between Carlos Sainz and Kimi Antonelli, and then Jenson Button gave his opinion on it, and then she also gave her very insightful and very informative opinion. So I'll show you guys the video, and then you guys can react.
What did you make of that?
It looked like Sainz went for a move that was late. He realised that it was too late, and then Kimi had turned in. He tried to break out of it, locked up, and in turn that's what drove him into the side of Kimi.
Not the best spot to go. When you make a move in an unusual place, then you get an unusual result. It's kind of like the turn one sprint, right? You make an unusual move and you get an unusual result. So I don't know. It was not the spot to do it.
Yeah. So as you guys have seen from her highly detailed highly informative, highly descriptive, and analytical view of the crash of yeah. So yeah, guys, that's basically it. I don't think I have to say much. You know, I'm sure we've all seen it. You can see Jensen Button's face. You can, you know. So yeah, that's basically the news for today, guys, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you haven't seen the video on why I think Oscar Piastri is in trouble, even though I supported him, it's gonna be somewhere up there, and you can just click on it and watch it. And I'll see you guys. Peace.